Hello, and welcome to Tuesday's Tales. It's great to be with y'all today. Our story for today is Pete the Cat and the New Guy by Kimberly and James Dean. So let's get started. Let's scooch it around a little bit. It was Sunday, and Pete's friends had come to play. They were rocking to a new song when beep, beep, beep. There was a noise coming from across the street. Oh, they jamming. They got all kinds of instruments. Here we go. Wise Old Owl had a view from his tree. So it is an owl like X the Owl. He looks like X the Owl from Mr. Rogers. Pete said, "Hey, Owl, what do you see?" Owl said, "All I see are green shoes and a red hat." Pete answered, "Sounds like my kind of cat." Pete could not imagine who this new guy could be. I really hope it's a new friend for me. Everybody loves new friends. On Monday, Pete went to say hi. He was feeling kind of shy. So he just rode by, and by, and by, and by. Until finally Pete got to meet the new guy. Dude, he's styling. I love those red shoes. Pete said, "I've never met anyone quite like you. You seem like a duck and like a beaver too." The new guy said to Pete, "Hi, my name's Gus. Glad to meet ya. I'm a platypus." Pete said, "You're not like me, and I'm not like you, but I think being different is really very cool." That is a great picture. On Tuesday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. They came to Squirrel, who was playing in a tree. "Hi, Gus," said Squirrel. "Climbing is easy. Try and see." Gus gave the tree a try, but the branch was way too high. "I wish I could climb like you, but climbing is something I just can't do." Pete said, "Don't be sad, don't be blue. There's something everyone can do." On Wednesday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. They came to Pete's friend Grumpy Toad, who said, "Come and play leapfrog with me. Jumping is easy. Try and see." Gus jumped and leaped, but he couldn't get over Toad or Pete. "I wish I could jump like you, but jumping is something I just can't do." It's like, bonk. See, now everybody in Pete the Cat kind of has this face like, but at least his name's Grumpy Toad and it makes sense. Pete said, "Don't be sad, don't be blue. There is something everyone can do." Oh. On Thursday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. Soon they saw Octopus, who said, "Come juggle with me. Juggling is easy. Try and see." Oh my. "I wish I could juggle like you, but juggling is something I just can't do." Preach on. I can't juggle either. It's okay. Pete said, "Don't be sad, don't be blue. There is something everyone can do." On Friday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. Gus said, "I can't juggle or jump or climb a tree. It's no fun around here for me." On Saturday, Pete hoped Gus would come out to play. "I wish Gus wasn't sad. I wish Gus wasn't blue. I wish there was something we could do." Just then, Pete heard a groovy sound. It was coming from across the street. Gus was rocking to his own beat. Sweet! Pete said, "Check out Gus the platypus. He found something he can do with us." Tap, thump, thump, thump. Dude, Gus is rocking out. So now they all get to play together and jam and rock out loud. That's awesome. Pete learned to never give up on a friend. He's not sad. He's not blue. Gus found something that everyone can do. The Gus Bus. Yeah. Rock on. The end. That was a great story. And our Bible story for today is called Daniel and the Scary Sleepover, which you can find in your grown-up Bible in Daniel chapter 6. Things were not looking good for God's people. They had been captured and taken far from home, and now they were slaves of the king of Babylon. But God had not left his people. He was with them and was looking after them. Daniel loved God and obeyed him. Now God made Daniel able to understand lots of difficult things, so it wasn't long before the king of Babylon noticed him. King Darius liked how clever Daniel was, so he made Daniel his most important helper of all and put him in charge of lots of other helpers. But the other helpers didn't like this. They wanted the king to like them best. They wanted to get rid of Daniel, so they spied on Daniel. They tried to find things wrong with Daniel, things they could tell the king, but there weren't any. None. They couldn't find anything at all, except there was just the one thing. Every day, 3 times a day, without fail, no matter what, Daniel went to his room, closed his door, and prayed. Look at those people creeping up on him. Not cool. They smiled to themselves. Let's get the king to make a law. No one is allowed to pray to anyone except to the king. Daniel won't obey this law, and he will be punished. They were pleased with themselves for being so clever and hurried off to tell the king. The king liked their idea. He didn't know they were tricking him, so he made it into a law. Everyone must pray, only to me. If you don't, the lions will have you for their dinner. Oops, that's a bit extreme. Daniel heard this. He knew it was wrong to pray to anyone except God. He had to do what God said, whatever it cost him, even if it meant he would die. So Daniel went to his room, closed the door, and prayed. That's just what the bad man knew Daniel would do. They skipped straight off to tell the king, "Oh, your most glittering highness, your law says, does it not, that everyone must pray to you alone, sire?" "Yes," said the king. "Oh, magisterial brightness, then correct us if we're wrong, but it would seem that Daniel is praying to God, not to you." The king was sad. He had been tricked. He didn't want to hurt Daniel, but he couldn't change his law, and so he let the soldiers throw Daniel to the lions. "May your God, who you love so much, rescue you," the king said. The king went back to his palace, but he didn't sleep that night, not a wink. He tossed and turned until finally, at the first glimmer of dawn, he leaped out of bed and ran straight to the den. "Daniel!" he cried. "Has your God rescued you?" "Yes!" Daniel shouted. God sent an angel to close the lions' mouths. And there, resting his head on Daniel's lap, was the biggest lion, purring like a little kitten. The king brought Daniel out of the den. "Look," he said, "Daniel doesn't even have a scratch." The king made a new law. Daniel's God is the true God, the God who rescues. Pray to him instead. God would keep on rescuing his people, and the time was coming when God would send another brave hero, like Daniel, who would love God and do what God said, whatever it cost him, even if it meant he would die, and together they would pull off the greatest rescue the world has ever known. The end. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!